old it is. I'm in the west side.
There you go. And that should be vibing up here now. Hey, vibing.
Yeah, this is as good as it gets. This is the best weather for the entire year. The Jan Feb is pretty good.
You're just getting the crowd started. I heard you guys, since we last
There you
talked,
go.
there's
And
been
that
a
should
lot of
be
stuff
vibing
going
up
on
here
with
now.
you
Hey,
guys.
vibing.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
You're just getting the crowd started. I heard you guys, since we've last talked, there's been a lot of stuff going on with you guys.
Yeah, we've been at it. The thing with us is that we built a roadmap and we've always delivered on that roadmap. There are so many projects that come up with different roadmaps and commit the moon, and then they don't deliver anything. So we've always been very practical in the sense that we've looked at it as a business rather than a standard crypto project. And as a business, you have to deliver on your commitments, right? Obviously, there is always that slight possibility of something being delayed. But if as a business you have a vision and you set yourself a roadmap, you have to deliver on that roadmap. Even if there's a partial delay, that's fine. But what you can't be doing is making promises that you don't even intend on delivering on. So it's been pretty good since we last spoke. I think it's been around 5-6 months now. Yeah, as we can see now, there are people joining in.
Frankie was coming
I
today
see,
too, correct?
Ziduk, you're here on the call. Can you check with Ryan if he's joining from the MContent account? If he's not, then we can just start probably.
Frankie was coming today too, correct?
No, Frankie is in the flight right now, so obviously
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be able to host the AMA from 40,000 miles. So yeah. But
yeah, that's going to be really high.
We'll just probably wait for a second. We'll see if Ryan is joining. Otherwise, let's begin.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Hey, Red, how are you?
Hey guys, good to be here. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Another amazing day, man. Good to see you guys come by. And yeah, man, we're excited to have you guys here today. I'll go ahead and start off. Now that we got everybody up here, you guys know I'm vibing. And one of the admins over here at BigONE, and today we're going to be hosting MContent for AMA. Have them come by, tell us a little bit about their project and some of the things that they're going to be updating us on as far as some developments and utilities that they're going to be putting out. So without further ado, just want to welcome Umar and Breda to the stage, and then if you guys get started, just telling us a little bit about MContent for the people that may not know about it.
Okay. By the way, all of you know Redu, Redu also has a real name. And the best part I think about MContent is that when we started, since day one of the differentiators that we always had was that we were real people. Because we always had the right intentions. So our identities were always there, out there. And now even the team members that joined us during the journey, during the course of the journey, they also now part of the team.
No.
People know who they are, what their real life is like. Yeah, maybe Luke, you want to tell them about who you are, what you do, before I begin with the introduction. Before I speak. And now I see that Ryan is also joining us.
Yeah. I wasn't planning to speak, but yeah, my name is Raj. I work in e-commerce, a company, things like that with marketing. Yeah, and I was an early investor in MContent.
So early investor turned into a team member, and now I think we also have Ryan on the call. So Ryan, maybe quickly if you can say hi, and after that I'll do the introduction as we were requested for that.
Yeah, sure. My name is Ryan Rivera. I'm the head of crypto operations for MContent. I've been with the project since the beginning. I'm now here in Dubai working full time on the project. So I'm happy to be here. If anyone has any questions about me anymore, you can find us on Telegram in the chat, by email. I'll be happy to answer anything.
Awesome. Okay. So the introduction, a quick introduction. Obviously, there are a few community members, as we can see. We were listed on BigONE around 6 months ago, so people from the BigONE community also have an idea on what MContent is, but still, I'll just give a quick introduction. So this is a project that we started in July 2021, and the basic idea at that time was that we realized that within the crypto space, there is this dire need of creating an asset-backed blockchain solution, which basically, all of us understand that while there are so many assets out there, content is actually considered as one of the most powerful assets in the world. And if there was a way to link content to, a crypto project, that could bring scalability, that could solve some real-world problems. And when I say real-world problems, I think the biggest real-world problem that exists within the content space is funding. So there are thousands of filmmakers and content creators globally. When I use the term content creators, I usually use it for capital-intensive content creators. These are filmmakers and people who want to create content that requires a lot of investment going into their projects. Usually their biggest problem is not talent, is the talent. Their problem is not ideas. They have some really powerful ideas, but it's usually funding. And unfortunately, even in today's day and age, usually what these content creators they do is that they go to individual investors to look for funding for their project. And using decentralization, using the power of blockchain, we realized that there could be a project that could actually allow them to raise funding through a centralized ecosystem. And I think we've been able to achieve that over the course of the past 6 months. The most important thing for you guys to understand when you think of MContent is that just like any industry in the world, content as an industry it has suffered a lot because of centralization. And the biggest thing that blockchain brings to any industry is the power of decentralization, right? So I'll give you an example. So I have friends who are producers in different parts of the world. They have the next 12 years locked up with Netflix. There's a friend of mine who's a producer, but for the next 12 years or 10 years, he is locked. He's doing all his projects for Netflix. And you will find similar stories of people who've done one good project and now the executive producer is sitting in one of these OTT platforms, the big decision makers in the world, because there is an existing relationship, because there is some sort of a bias. They tend to get project after project after project, whereas the guy who never had the opportunity, maybe he is actually more skilled than this individual who has 12 years locked up. He's never getting that opportunity. Why? Because the process is centralized. The power is lies. Right now, the power lies in the hands of a few people who are the decision makers, right? In previous day and age, that power rested with people who were running the huge channels of the world, and now that power rests with OTT platforms, the big OTT platforms. But that is not right. And in order for any industry to actually go through that, you need to, in order to overcome that, you need to bring in decentralization. And decentralization can only come where retail investors and viewers like yourself have an opportunity to actually have that say within the content production landscape, right? And they can only have a say when they invest. So someone needed to tokenize this asset in a way that a retail investor can actually invest in the asset. When they invest in the asset, then this entire process becomes democratic, right? And then everyone has an option to have a say. Based on that say, the process breaks up. The process loses any form of partiality that could be there. It just becomes impartial organically. And there is so much scalability because now you're talking about millions of people who have all of a sudden become investors into content. Earlier, they were only consumers of content. Now they've become investors in content. So the scalability, again, with what we're trying to do is huge. And so as you can see, the journey has obviously been amazing. And there's so many people here on the call who initially 8 months ago we only knew each other over the internet, and the MContent phenomena grew over time. Ultimately, we reached a situation where most of them have actually flown in. We've built our first offices. We've had the legalities covered from every aspect. Things have been really good. So I guess that's for the intro. Unless you want to add something, Ryan or Lad.
I think it sounds great. It's perfect.
Yeah, really good take. I really appreciate that introduction. Can you guys still hear me? I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got you.
So I appreciate the introduction, guys. And yeah, you guys did list on BigONE around I think it was September. And we had you guys in for a AMA at the ABC in September 16th or September 17th, I believe. So I love to hear what you guys have been working on. It was funny though because you guys went through such a long period of consolidation while you guys were building it, and now that you guys have some things to release. Um, it's been an exciting journey to see where you guys have came. So now that we got the introduction out of the way, I guess the next thing that we want to go into before we open up the floor for questions from the people is what are your roadmap look like right now as far as the next I'd say the whole 2022, I say from now until December at the end of the year.
Okay, so primarily our roadmap now from here on is about scalability, right? Because we've delivered already. People have seen the fact that we're getting into world-class promotions. We're not just a group of a bunch of producers saying that we are going to produce content. We've actually delivered that content, and we've been able to syndicate that content to some of the leading platforms of the world. Right now, as we speak, we are speaking to some other platforms as well. Obviously, for non-disclosure reasons, I cannot take their names at the moment. But I think it's clear to everyone that the quality of the productions that we engage with, both on our M originals and MCs, in MCs because we curate this entire journey, the quality is so good that our projects do end up on the biggest platforms. Obviously, they do end up on our own platform as well, which is being launched later this month. So we're pretty clear in terms of the output that we have. Now it's all about scaling up that output, right? Because the business model revolves around the fact that we want to convert into this category A asset as much as possible. All the revenue that we make through our ECF and then also through our NFT-based crowdfunding model, we need to make sure that we do maximum utilization of those funds by creating more and more and more content. So in terms of some of the targets that we have, and obviously these numbers are also dependent on how fast we grow organically, but we're looking at delivering something like 100 fully funded projects this year. And that's where the roadmap really lies. On the tech front, I think you guys already know that on 14th we are launching our fully built, custom built Ethereum bridge, which means that now we will also be an ERC20 token. We're moving some of our supply from BP20 to ERC20. Moving forward, obviously this bridge technology, we plan to expand to other blockchains as well, which we haven't decided, but most definitely by the end of the year, we will choose to expand to 2 more blockchains. On the tech stack point of view, if you look at our platform, so our web is already ready for the launch this month. Our app platform, both on iOS and Play Store, is also ready for launch. And I think hopefully by April or May latest, we should have our smart TV rollout as well, which means that our app will become a smart TV app. All the content that we're populating on the platform, all the content that we've produced till now, it's all 4K, which basically means that we can get that smart TV app out there as soon as we're able to, complete the tech side of it. And then you can actually, you can consume the app on any smart TV, whether it's an 80-inch screen or a 90-inch screen. So that's where we're headed from a tech standpoint. But as I said, the roadmap, the real roadmap is about scaling up our production. And it's about achieving 100 fully funded productions by the end of this year. So yeah. Rand, you want to add something? I know you're very tired. By the way, me and Rand, I think we've only slept for 4 hours in the last 3 days because there's a lot happening. So please, just excuse us if you feel that we're slightly, off radar today. But do you want to add something, Rand, please?
Yeah, you mentioned the bridge going live on the 14th. We're also doing a small Ethereum pre-sale, and it's going to be hosted on Pink Cell. There are going to be whitelist spots, so we did the whole sweep widget thing. That link and the link to the actual pre-sales in our Telegram. It's on our Twitter page also. So I just wanted to make sure that was known.
If you want, you can pin those. You can pin those links to the top for everybody to go in and follow. And that was actually my next question. I was going to ask about the Ethereum bridge. I know you guys have the Ethereum bridge opening. So is that going to be essentially a different liquidity? Is that going to be a different liquidity pool? And then how many? What's the hard cap and the soft cap for the whitelist?
It technically is a different liquidity pool, just because it's another token. But we wanted to make sure to let everyone know that we're not increasing any supply. We're moving one supply from BSC and using the supply over at Ethereum. The hard cap is 400 ETH and the soft cap is 200. So it's not very big. We don't need a ton of liquidity because we're a built-up project, which is great. But those are the numbers we have right now.
I don't know if we talked about it, but do you have any exciting partnerships that you guys have been
Very well.
working with?
All right, so yeah, that's all I have as far as my questions go. Scott, did you have some questions before we open it up for the floor?
I don't know if we talked about it, but do you have any exciting partnerships that you guys have been working with or that have already closed that you have?
Yeah, I think a few partnerships on the production side we've already announced. So I actually see one of our partners is on the production side, one of our prominent partners, which is Villain Studios, and Stefan, who is also one of the mentors of this project from day one. I see him online actually. So Villain Studios is obviously one of our prominent partners on the production side. They're very they're actually a huge production house based out in the Netherlands, and Stefan himself carries a huge profile behind him. We also have a co-production partnership with Inside TV, as you already know. We have entered a series of almost 7 episodes with them, which are currently in production. On the other side of things, obviously, on a tech standpoint, there is a huge partnership right now that we have completed with one of the most prominent consulting firms globally. But hopefully we should be able to announce that in the next 3 to 4 days once all the contracting is completed, and obviously for confidentiality reasons and clauses, we are unable to reveal the name of that firm. But I can tell you that that firm is absolutely huge, and they've been doing a lot of work within the metaverse and the NFT landscape over the past 1 year silently, and they've been building a lot. It's just that they haven't announced it, and we're actually going to be the first project that they officially partner with. So that's obviously a huge announcement. Some of the other partnerships that we have are with dev firms like Sword, like Systems, and I guess that's it on a partnership standpoint. And obviously, every exchange that we list on, those are also our partners. So our current partnerships are, we have a very strong partnership with BigONE, obviously. I personally know the founder himself, Andy. He's a very good friend. And one of the prominent CEX centralized exchanges that we trade on is Bitmart. As you know, we've actually become a top coin on Bitmart in terms of trade volume, which is huge because, after BTC and Ethereum and a couple of others, we are actually in the top 4 in terms of volume. So that goes to tell you, how strong a partnership we have with the exchanges that we work with. Have I missed out anything, Rand?
I think that's it, but we have some coming for our NFT side. That's not announced yet, but these are very big names, and they're not crypto related. So I'm personally very excited about them. I can't wait to announce to everybody, but the partnership with the NFT person. We're going to use a utility in NFTs that's not done by anybody anywhere in crypto. It's never been done.
That sounds really
And it's a
intriguing.
very
I
big
wanted to
name. This
ask, I guess
person
one other
has,
question I
I
have
think, 10 to
is
12 million followers
that a
across
lot of
all
your guys are
platforms. So
moving to Dubai. Can you
we're very
tell
excited about that as
people that
well.
may be listening what the benefits are to the
That
users
sounds
or
really
the
intriguing.
members of
I
the
wanted to ask,
tokens?
I
Because
guess, one other
one thing
question I
that
have,
really
because
some
I know
promising things
that a lot of your
about
guys are
being
moving to Dubai.
AVE.
Can you tell people that may be listening what the benefits are to the users or the holders of your tokens? Because I know there's definitely some promising things about being in Dubai as well.
Yeah, I just moved here. I'd like to answer that. We've all been scattered across different time zones for, since June, since we worked on this. And everyone being in the same place, like things get done so much faster. They get done so quickly because it's not like, if I want to talk to our marketing guy who lives in Canada and I was in Japan before this, we'd have to find a time to get together or I send him something and he has to send it back. So when we're all, 8, 10, 12 hours a day face to face working on things like this project is just moving so fast in the last 3-4 weeks. It's amazing.
Yeah, I can only imagine that makes it so much easier. I know your dad's not
Yeah.
cutting you off, Scott, but we're all in different time zones as
I
well.
wanted
We have to pick,
I wanted
certain times,
to
whether it's
I
morning
wanted
for
to get
some
you
and
in
night
on
for others.
that
So
and
having
working
everybody in one
for
central location definitely
Singapore
makes it
working
a lot more
people
convenient
spread
to
all
get things
over
done.
US,
But yeah,
Canada,
Scott, you can go ahead. I just
that
wanted to
you
agree
can
with that point.
definitely tell that there's
I wanted
a
to
little bit of a delay
I
behavior.
wanted to
So
agree to it as well. Like, I
that's
mean,
but I
working with
definitely heard
people in
Dubai's
Singapore,
kind of
working in
kind
people
of becoming one of the
spread
more
all over
innovative
US,
countries when it
Canada,
comes
like,
to
you can
cryptocurrency.
definitely
So
tell that there is sometimes that little bit of a delay between things. So that's impressive. But I've definitely heard Dubai's be kind of becoming one of the more innovative countries when it comes to cryptocurrency as well.
Yeah, innovative, and also I think Dubai has always been one of the most progressive places in the world. And I think the leadership of Dubai has always been very dynamic and visionary, and I believe that I think they've been able to evaluate the long-term advantages of this space, which is obviously new to a lot of people right now. But being as visionary as they are, I feel that they're creating this welcoming environment for blockchain, crypto, metaverse, and Web3, basically Web3. So the space that we refer to as crypto, blockchain, metaverse, I think the biggest summary statement on how to define this entire space is Web 3.0, right? And just like the internet first came, which was Web 1.0, and then the transition into Web 2.0, there were always, countries in the world that were resistant to that change, and they were slow. And there were always countries that accepted the change earlier than the others. Um, and usually it's the ones that actually accept change before the others. They're the ones who really prosper and get maximum advantage out of those decisions. So yeah, the steps that you see, whether it's welcoming Binance, setting up the crypto zone at DWTC, I'm sure you guys have heard the news. There's another prominent exchange that is coming to the IFC now. It's called Kraken. It's one of the top 10 exchanges. So all of this is happening. Definitely not a coincidence. There is, some vision behind it. There's some right decision makers behind it who understand that Web3 is the future, and they are there to embrace the future. And we're very lucky to be actually one of the first few crypto projects to be based out of Dubai, to have a global team, and then actually moving that entire team here, creating our center as Dubai, building all of these connections in an evolving space, in an industry which evolves every day.
just
Um,
to kind of end things
so
and
yeah,
open things to the
I
floor,
guess
is there
we're
any
very lucky to be in Dubai,
want
and
to
the credit is
discuss
not
or talk
ours, but
about before we
credit goes to the
open the
leadership of
floor,
Dubai.
or anything you want to tell the people that are
Okay, I
listening?
guess the next question we have, just to kind of end things and open things to the floor, is there anything that you guys want to discuss or talk about before we do open the floor, or anything you want to tell the people that are in the chat right now?
Yeah, I mean, like there's a small announcement that we would like to make that there's a huge event that we're throwing up on the 23rd. And I know you guys have already heard the term Cineverse that we coined, and you do understand that there's some work which is happening behind the scene, which is our way of entering the metaverse. But on the 23rd of Feb is where you guys will see what it actually is, and that's going to be huge. It's going to be at a level where I don't think anyone within the entire Web3 space has explored that possibility that we're looking at, and with the partnerships that we've created, we should be able to ace it. So yeah, that's the big announcement that all the people on this AMA should know. So they should look forward to the 23rd, because 23rd is a day before the actual event. So we will do that grand reveal on 23rd as to what's happening on the 24th. So it should be a lot of fun.
Anything else from you, Ryan, as well?
I think that's it for my side. Like I talked about hinted at the NFTs coming with those partnerships, the bridge going live, which is huge, the pre-sale on Pink Cell, Sweep Widget, the content platform looks amazing right now. It looks so professional. I mean, it's just to touch on this before we open it. I think it's important with our content platform. I think it's important that it has our content that we fund, our content that we make, but there's also like a quote unquote YouTube side of the platform. So anybody can load up content just from day one. And the big difference is between us and other platforms is on YouTube, you have to hit so many hours, so many, subscribers to get monetized. Here, no matter, you put something on day one, if you get views, you start earning MContent token. And on the other side, if you view content, you're also earning tokens. So tokens are going out both ways. So you can load content and watch at the same time. And one thing I like to say is, like, on YouTube, if you earn $1, it's always $1. With us, you can earn in content, hold it for 2 years, and you've just made so much more value compared to, you get to choose when to cash it out, basically. And I think that's a major thing that sets our platform apart from everyone else.
That is pretty impressive. And is it equal amounts for both the uploaders as well as the people that are watching?
So there's a
no, there's different amounts.
Yeah,
no, I can answer
different
that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Zuhair is not on the call. He's the guy who works on the monetization of the platform, but I can answer that. So obviously, the monetization for the creator, who is the content uploader, is obviously much higher than the viewer. But we're making sure that the incentive is also enough for the viewer to actually, consume content on the platform. But at the end of the day, you guys need to understand that this entire MContent ecosystem that we came up with is to facilitate content creators. So the real benefit will always be passed on to the content creator, because those are the people we're trying to help. Whether these are individuals who are filmmakers who need funding, we're trying to help them. Whether it is a YouTuber, a content creator right now who's just started his journey, struggling to reach the minimum number where YouTube starts monetizing you, we're trying to help them as well, right? Why should they have to wait for a minimum audience? Yeah, the real benefit will obviously be passed on to the creator, but we're also making sure that as a viewer also you get something.
Perfect. Do you have anything to add, Vibin, before we open the floor?
No, I got some other. I wanted to ask a couple more questions, but I'd rather let the people go ahead and speak, and then if there's time at the end, I'll jump back in and ask a couple of questions. But definitely, man, some interesting things that you guys have been talking about with the NFTs and the content creation. I definitely looking forward to it. I was one of the people who got in lucky, and well, I won't say lucky, but got in early with you guys in September when you guys came by. I thought it was a cool project. Thought it was something to follow. And when you guys put out that first documentary, it kind of caught my eye even more. And then I just kind of sat on it for a while. And honestly, I hadn't never paid attention to it until Radat came in one day and was telling us about it in one of our spaces. And I just happened to go back and look. So excited to be a part of the community as well. But yeah, we'll go ahead and open up the floor now, guys. If you have any questions, just go ahead and raise your hand. We'll bring you up one by one. Um, I, as always, if you come up to ask questions, please don't ask price related questions. Other than that, I think the guys are pretty open to speaking about anything. So, Eric, I'm gonna bring you up first, and then we'll bring up another speaker right after that.
Oh yeah, they're loaded. Hey Eric. Yeah, yeah.
Technology is letting Eric down, I see.
Oh yeah, they're loaded. Hey Eric.
Hello.
Finally.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
I'm outside walking my dog in Maricopa, Arizona, very far away from you guys. Listen, I love your project. I've invested in it. I'm a trader, and I'm going to stay committed to this for a little bit and see where it goes. Are you more of a YouTube competitor? Are you competing against YouTube? Because I hear YouTube and I hear Netflix, and those are two different worlds. I would prefer YouTube because that's where the market is. Are you an alternative to YouTube? Is that how you want to summarize it really quick for a layman?
Okay, so we are actually not competing against YouTube. We are not competing against Netflix. See, the first thing for everyone to understand, and I've said this a few times before as well, that for any business to actually grow, the starting point is humility. You need to start with humility, right? So the first thing is that we need to pay respect to the big organizations out there within the content landscape, because these people have, if they're sitting in a certain place, that's because of years and years and years of hard work and achievement. So we are not even close to being a competition to any of them at this stage, and we are not competing with YouTube. We are not competing with Netflix. That's the first thing I want to clarify. Secondly, what we are competing against is actually the status quo, right? The first thing I said is that we are competing as a project against the status quo, because the status quo is a centralized content globe, right? And we want to decentralize it because we want to create that benefit for the content creator. So we are competing against status quo. And unfortunately, since in that status quo, YouTube is there. So yes, in the long run, YouTube becomes our competitor, and a paid for platform like Netflix also becomes our competitor, because eventually the idea, once we have a lot of subscribers, is to move towards becoming a paid for platform as well. So yeah, I hope that does answer your question. But
I have one more question. Thank you for answering that. One more question, and I know a lot of people are going to ask this. What is your calendar? Are you committed to trying to get on Binance this year?
I would want to get on Binance tomorrow, but unfortunately, Binance is not going to go according to our calendar. but yeah, so see, there's a transition, and I think everyone understands this, that there's always a transition. There's always a ladder that you have to take, right? And if success comes too early, then there's something wrong with that success. So we listed on starting with Tier B exchanges. We've done pretty well. We've become like a top project on Tier B exchanges. Now our next step is to get on top 20 exchanges and top 10 exchanges, which we're pretty close to. Hopefully, we'll see some. Are you flying a plane or something?
I just muted him quickly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're very close to signing up on a top 10 exchange, and that's our step. That's our next step, right? So Binance is right now the world's biggest exchange. So expecting a project like ours, which is only 8 months old, to be on Binance in 8 months is slightly unrealistic. But hopefully, once we get to those top 10 exchanges and people see our utility, people start consuming the platform, because the real deal is the platform, which is not even launched yet. Once we have that user base, definitely that is where Binance is going to start looking at us, and hopefully we will find the right connections as well. Obviously, we do have indirect connections with the leadership team of Binance, as you clearly know. Otherwise, we would not have been able to, produce a piece of content featuring them. But that doesn't mean that it is the right time to utilize our connections and reach out to them. Right now, we're not big enough to actually reach out to an exchange like Binance. So it's a transition. So we have to obviously be patient and wait. And the first step is to list ourselves on a top 10 exchange.
I thank you so much for answering my questions. I wish you guys the best of success. I hope this really takes off and the people will discover this. I think you're still an underdog. I don't think people really know who you are yet. So I'll do everything I can to promote you guys, and thank you so much.
Thanks for coming up. Next up, we have Raul. You could go ahead and speak.
Oh, where did Raul go?
We lost him. It's all right. Sharon, will you be up next, or Sherwin? Sharon, you can go ahead. You're up now. Just unmute your mic.
Hello, my name is Sherwin Gloston. I'm out of Augusta, Georgia. I had a question. Do you have an official Facebook page? If so, can you tell me what the name of that page is?
It's actually a funny question because we're trying to fight against all of these fake Facebook pages. So there are like 3 or 4 of them circulating. But maybe can you quickly, Ryan, just type in the address of the real one?
Thank you.
So obviously we reported all of these fake pages. So bear with us while we're able to resolve that issue. But I think it's a good problem to have because as a startup that has only just started, if there are people making fake Facebook pages about MContent, that I think speaks volume about our success.
Absolutely, and the reason that I ask is because I have seen the multiple pages, and a page actually selected one of my pictures that I posted as a part of a contest that MContent Official, as far as the page name, was having, and it chose me and selected me to connect my wallet to the page to give me these prize tokens of MContent.
Wow. Yeah, I know. There is also a fake website which is asking you to actually log into your wallet and connect your wallet and stuff like that. So obviously you guys have to be very careful.
Yes.
Only follow the information that is there on. So all the exact information will always be available. And this is not just for MContent. Any crypto project that you like to invest in, always go to CMC. CMC is the updated place where you will always find information directly from the founders of the project, right? So for example, me and Ryan, we updated the CMC link ourselves 3 days ago. So anything that you see on CMC is the correct website, that's the correct Facebook page.
Okay.
Everything else is fake. So always refer to CMC before you get into anything related to any project, even if it's not us.
Got it. Thank you guys so much. I'm excited about this project. I've been following you guys really for the past year, so I'm heavily invested from a standpoint of liking the project and also getting other people involved with the project and making them aware. So kudos to you guys. Thank you so much.
You can speak. I pulled you back up so you can speak.
Appreciate you coming up, Sharon.
Yeah. Next up, Ruel. I don't know how to say the name.
Rahul. Yeah.
You can speak. I pulled you back up so you can speak.
We might need to move on here in just one more second.
Ruel, are you there?
Ruel, can you speak?
We might need to move on here in just one more second. Ruel, can you speak? Ooh.
Yeah, it sounds like Raul's having connection issues. We're gonna bring up Carbon. You're gonna be next.
Yes.
Once your mic's connected, you could go ahead.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for taking my question. And by the way, after my question, you can mute me because I don't know how to do that myself. Yeah. So the question is about something that was mentioned when we were talking about the Ethereum bridge.
that the liquidity would come from the current supply. So is that a particular wallet that we can currently see on BSC? And then the other part of my question is the top, say, 10 wallets or so, which are holding about 1% or more. Do you know all those investors, and do you feel that they're committed to the project and won't dump?
Okay, so the first question is obviously it's the developer's wallet. And again, if you go to BSC Scan, there is one wallet which is marked as developer's wallet, and we actually moved 200 trillion tokens from there to Ethereum, because right now the bridge is already live, just so you know, but it's only live on a private domain, which is not accessible to you as public. And it's on a whitelist mode, which means that only the whitelisted wallet can actually use the bridge. And we only whitelisted the developer's wallet. So that 200 trillion has already been moved, and I'm sure if you go to BSC Scan, you'll be able to figure out which one is the developer's wallet, and you'll see the movement of that 200 trillion as well through the bridge contract. So that's your first question. The second question regarding the top wallet. So see, on the top 10 wallets that you see on BSC Scan right now, the funny thing is that I think the first wallet is the BigONE wallet. The second wallet is an exchange hot wallet. The third wallet is also an exchange hot wallet. And again, this I'm talking from my pure memory based on the last time I checked. The fourth highest is probably our CCF, which is the Content Creators Fund. It's also there. The address of the Content Creators Fund is actually there on the white paper. You can go pick it up. You'll see. That's obviously ours, so we're not selling. So that's the CCF. The fifth wallet again is an exchange hot wallet. So there are two hot wallets belonging to Bitmart. There's one hot wallet that belongs to BigONE, where we are right now. There's one hot wallet that belongs to BKEX. So every centralized exchange, what happens is that on the centralized exchanges, we on BSC Scan are not able to see the individual balances that people hold, because the tokens are basically held under a shared hot wallet, right, which is owned by the exchange. So I think 7 or 8 out of because there's also a marketing and exchange wallet, which is one of the big ones. The details for that also are in the white paper. You can go and check. So I think out of the 10 that you're talking about, probably 8 are either exchange hot wallets or they're wallets that are belonging to the company itself. And I believe the last 2, which should be pretty insignificant, should be one of the private investors, who've been with us for a very, very long time, because you remember initially when we started back in June, July, we started with a private sale. And usually the people who participate in the private sale are people who know the project team in person. And anyone who knows the project team right now in person, they know what our vision is, they know where we're headed, they know all the disruption that we're bringing. So definitely anyone who knows us personally is never going to sell. So you shouldn't worry about that as well.
Well, thank you. And I actually did mean to mention, I actually bought on relaunch back in July, and I'm in the top 300 wallets. So I'm particularly proud of this project and love the work you guys are doing. Thanks for taking my question.
Amazing.
Thanks for coming up.
I'm glad you're in the community.
Next up, we got one of our favorites that always comes by. We're going to have Hammy come up to ask some questions. So once you're connected, Hammy, the mic is yours.
Go ahead, Hammy.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, there he is. Excellent.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Not too much. Hey, sorry I got in a little bit late, but I really like the sound of your project and everything. And I guess I have kind of a part question and part consumer that uses YouTube to find a lot of the content to educate myself on projects, maybe a recommendation or just a perspective. My first question would be, so this content viewer, the kind of take on YouTube that you're offering, I assume that this program or app you're going to connect your wallet to in order to receive your tokens by watching and providing content. Is that correct?
Yeah, you have to, when you create your profile, you get an option to connect your wallet. If you don't do it at that point in time, we still allow you to go into the platform, but the platform sends you reminders on a daily, weekly basis. So if you're one of those viewers who is consuming the platform but has still not connected your wallet, the platform is actually going to give you reminders that you've actually lost out on these many tokens that you could have claimed by now. So it's a pretty smart way of constructing it, and yes, it's connected.
Yep.
So yeah, that's initial stage. At a later stage, we're also planning to have our own wallet within the platform, but that's a lot of development work that needs to happen, like 3 to 4 months of development. Which basically means that we then have our own decentralized wallet within the exchange, and you really don't need to connect a third-party wallet and move your tokens anywhere, because your tokens are going to stay in your own wallet within the MContent ecosystem, and that's where we're headed for the future.
So do you also plan on providing a swap in the future? So let's say that somebody uploads something like XR, I don't know, just for example, an XRP or XR, type of video at the end of the video. Will that prompt you to your swap so you could potentially buy right there instead of having to go through all of the how to buy type of videos?
Yeah.
So
the idea of the wallet is basically the idea of creating the wallet, which is our next step of development, is to have our own wallet, so people don't really need to connect another wallet and transfer tokens, because every time you transfer tokens, there's a gas fee, which is pretty significant. So why do that when you can have your own wallet? So that's one of the reasons. The second reason is to have a swap in there as well. So any blockchain that we will be on, by that time, you will actually have a swap within the platform. So within the wallet, you'll be able to swap. And the third major reason, which you've just mentioned, is that once you have your own wallet and swap within the platform, then you can integrate something like a fiat model, something like a fiat service provider, who can then just we can find out a way to just link your credit card within the platform itself, right? So you can just directly go and buy our tokens from within the platform. So the primary reason for doing the wallet is these 3 reasons, and the third reason is exactly what you're saying.
No, I absolutely no. I was just making sure that I was seeing kind of through it the same way you guys were going, and I absolutely love that. How do you guys plan on? Where YouTube and these platforms miss the mark a lot is filtering out like kind of bad content. People will slap tags that have no relevance to what you're actually looking at. So do you guys have like a moderator plan or some type of filtering mechanism which would weed out these kind of content providers that are just kind of gaming the system a little bit to get the views?
Yeah. So see, for any content platform in the world, I think governance and screening is one of the most important areas, because at the end of the day, we have our ethos, which we need to follow while we believe in freedom of speech and everything. But at the same time, we have some rules. So there is an entire mechanism in place whereby anything that is not considered appropriate for the audience, anything which is against the rules, that will also be published in our terms and conditions when we launch the platform. That will obviously be excluded. There is a review mechanism in place. But I think that's just a starting point. And in the future, based on this scale that we're looking at, we'll have to expand this entire governance mechanism. And, there has to be a parallel ecosystem on the governance side, just to screen content and just to, basically have that ongoing policy, have that resource that you need, because there's a lot of human capital you need in order to pull this off, because there's a lot of physical review that needs to happen. So that is an infrastructure question when it comes to scalability. And I believe over a period of time, we will be looking at enhancing our capabilities on the review side.
Very cool. Very cool. No, absolutely. And you guys, what is your primary hope of outreach to the community? Is it Twitter, Telegram, Discord? Right.
Sorry,
You're breaking up really bad, Hemi.
Breaking up bad. We might allow the next.
Yeah, you're back.
I'll leave you up though.
No, I'm just.
No, it's breaking. It's breaking up bad.
Lost in the blockchain.
We might allow the next person up. I'm sorry, Hami. I'll leave you up though.
You became a robot all of a sudden.
You lost that connection out there. He's probably
lost in the blockchain.
All right, so we got the gaining. You're up next.
Hi, yes. Of course, yes, the Gaining Enigma here. I've been in the project since about September timeframe, and I'm extremely blessed and fortunate enough to be chosen to be a part of the beta testers for our official app. I guess the question that I have is going to be, do we know about a time frame for which we could be looking for the actual testing to happen to kind of work out any possible kinks? Have y'all created like a timeline for that as of yet?
Yeah, it should be good to go in the next probably 1 to 3 days. You'll have access to that, so you can check it out.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue to try to promote as much as possible, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Yeah. Happy seeing you.
By the way, I saw your videos, right? It's you, the one who did those videos on MContent, right?
That's correct. That's me.
Oh, amazing. I really love them, you know. And I shared it with the entire team, and I said that this guy has done so much research about the project, and that's the kind of people we need in the community who actually go out of the way, study every minute detail, build their knowledge. Because a project like ours, we are not supposed to be promoted like a meme coin. We're not supposed to spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars just trying to get new holders. That's not us. Our strength is people to understand our use case. Our strength is for people to understand the vision. And to understand what all we've done till now. And the kind of study that you did, I would love the entire community to actually indulge in that exercise. While I love all the energy, when we're booming, we have a 1,000 plus charts in a week. People are saying when Moon and when Lambo and when Binance. All of that is fine. I like it. But really, if you want to contribute to the growth of this project, you need to study the project and you need to become the voice, because a project like ours is going to grow through word of mouth. It's because it's the utility that we sell here. It's an asset that we create. We are not a pump and dump project, right? So knowledge, our biggest strength is the knowledge that you have. So create your knowledge so that you can pass that knowledge on to other people around you.
Yeah, most definitely. I've immersed myself into the project and learning everything. I want to give as much accurate information as possible because in my perspective, I'm in the U.S., so a lot of people here don't know about it. So I do whatever I can to promote it as best I can and to be as knowledgeable. And I'm going to wrap this AMA up as well and make another video later today. That way people can still, again, get all the information. Even though they're not here, I want to get it to them. So, again, I just appreciate you guys. I love the vision, and I'm here, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming by today, Gaming Enigma. Sounds like you got some cool videos, man. So definitely want to kind of check those out. Blue V NFT, you're gonna come up next, and then we got a couple more after you. You're connected now, Blue. You can go ahead.
Hello. Hey everyone.
Hey, we can hear you now.
Hi, how you doing? Big fan as usual. So is everyone else. Actually, MContent came out on July 13th. That's my birthday, and I got in August 1st. So been a huge supporter since day one. not day one, but first month. Question, I try to help as much as possible on Telegram, spreading the word. I'm not an admin or anything. I'm just, an investor, and I just like to help from any way possible. Question that I keep running into, a lot of people are confused about the goal of the 90% burn. I know we're expected, by the end of December. Again, this is not a solid time frame. I don't expect it to be, but it's just a lot of people being confused. What is the goal after that? My question is there a stopwatch after that 90% burn, or is going to continue on burning after that?
Okay, I think Ryan, you want me to take that?
Yeah, go ahead if you want.
Okay. So, see, I think there is a lot of confusion regarding this 90%. So, when we started and when people started seeing that first burn that we did, it was one of the statements that we made in one of the AMAs that if we are able to scale up to this level, we will be able to produce X amount of content. Based on that X amount of content, we'll be able to, syndicate Y amount of content. We'll be able to mint Z amount of NFTs, and based on all of those projections, we will be able to so much revenue that over that period of time, within the next year and a half, we will be able to burn approximately 90% of our supply, right? Now, that is, people have taken that as a quantified commitment to the burn. There is no quantified commitment to the burn, because the burn could be higher than that and it could be lower than that, and it's not stopping there, right? So don't worry about it. I do understand that some people have concerns about the big supply in terms of the quantity of the supply, because we went for a huge supply when we initially started, and I think once people start consuming the platform, they will understand why we opted for that large number of supply. The large number of supply was done because we wanted to distribute lots of digital assets and tokens to the consumers of the platform and to the content creators on the platform, right? And we don't want to give them, what YouTube does is it gives you, for every view that you earn as a content creator, it gives you 0.00000, maybe like 7 zeros and a $1. So you have to get to X number of views before you actually get that first dollar, right? We innovated and we did it the other way around, right? So we thought that the monetization in dollar value should be higher than what something like YouTube does. Secondly, why not give them at least more than a certain quantity for every view, so that it's easier for them to set targets as content creators. How many views am I going to get, and how much do I actually earn? And then they have this potential to actually see growth within the earnings that they're making on the platform. So that was primarily the reason for the big supply. Right now, when it comes to reducing the supply, I think we have a phenomenal earn and burn mechanism, because with this 50% model, whereby 50% of all revenues are being utilized to buy tokens and burn, as long as we have this in place, we will always be a hyper deflationary token, which means that we will always have huge burns. What number is it going to be? Where are we going to stop? It all depends on how the market goes, how many holders we have, what market cap we achieve, and based on the market cap we achieve, how much money do we actually generate within the CCF, and how much content we produce. So it's all a subset of these numbers, and there is no fixed number. And once again, I'm clarifying, there is no fixed number, that it is going to be a 90%, or is it going to be a 50%, or is it going to be a 99.99%. It all depends on how the project is going to grow. The commitment that we have made is that 50% of all the profits that we make on the content, because the content is being produced with money that belongs to the community in a way, 50% of those revenues are coming back using the earn and burn mechanism, whereby we buy from the market and then we burn those tokens.
Well, I appreciate your answer. I'm sure that clarified it for a lot of listeners at the moment. And I'm sure our friend that was speaking ahead of me, he's going to mention that as well when he's doing his video, so he can also share it. So the 50% revenue, is that is there also a deadline on that? Let's say, in 2-3 years, for example, the 50% revenue to buy back, or there is no set time or a stopwatch on that?
So 50% is ongoing. So for example, if tomorrow I'm able to book, let's say I book $100 on one of the projects that we've done. So straight up $100 out of that $100, $50 we're going to use. We're going to buy X amount of tokens and we're going to burn them, put them in the dead wallet. So it's an ongoing process. As soon as we realize those profits, we are going to buy and burn. We're not going to wait for a certain amount to be achieved, right? So while that automated burn is also happening because of that 1% function within the tokenomics, we also have that manual burn, which is ongoing, and every time we make revenues, and you will see a lot of revenue coming in. See, one of the things that you need to understand is that what we're creating is actually utility in the real world, and the real world does not operate like the Web3, where everything is changing overnight. People are expecting revenues to be booked in a day. That doesn't happen, right? Because in the real world, so for example, I'll just give you a small example. We also have our friend Stefan working on the production of this blockchain live series that now we partnered up with a platform called Insight TV, right? So in our space, we want to do everything quick, whereas these structured organizations, these buyers and co-production partners that we work with, they want to take time. They have their methodology, they have their structure. They don't want to publish, one piece of content in isolation. They want to have an entire series of similar subjects created. So they have like an entire pipeline of content. They have their entire funnel built up, and then they release the first episode. So while we are in a hurry to actually have the productions aired, because we produce this content and obviously it's related to our space, there's a lot of anticipation. For them, it's not about that. For them, it's about structuring it, right? So everyone needs to understand that the profits are going to start coming when the actual content starts getting deployed on the platforms where we're syndicating it to, right? And similarly, now, since we are getting into the entire Cineverse and the NFT experiment that is looking really, really bright. So that's another subset of our revenue, which will start coming in a very short period of time. And then you will see those expedited manual burns. So yeah.
Thank you so much for all that clarification. Me personally, I am a way long hold here. I'm not giving you or anyone a deadline for that 90% or 70%. I'm a 5 to 10 year holder. So definitely kudos to all of you. I appreciate all your hard effort around the clock, and hopefully you get some rest after this AMA. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up. We got Raul trying again. We're going to bring him up. And then Saji, you're up as well.
Sahid. So, I think Sahid. Go ahead, Sahid, if you'd like.
Hello. Just to confirm, could you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I have two questions. The first of which is that once our platform is out, a huge mass of people will upload content, and most of it will be from YouTube and other areas like TikTok and many other areas. So my question here is that how are we going to catch such a big hyped copyright of other platforms onto our platform? Because to catch a copyright of your own platform is easy, but to catch copyrights of other platforms, that would be difficult, because the uploads you get once the platform launches will be very huge, because you are giving them money, free money, and most of it will be from other platforms. How are we planning to catch each and every copyright from each and every platform that we get? Because catching copyright from other platform, as I said, would be an issue, because we would be having a very huge amount. And the second question that I have is that the revenue burn, that will the 50% burn occur only from the revenue that comes from M Original and M Seed projects, or it would also be from the revenue that content creators get by uploading their content onto the platform?
So what content creators, I'll answer the second question first. So what content creators earn is their revenue. It's not the platform's revenue, right? The platform's revenue is going to be advertising revenue which we will start soon, and subscription revenue, which is going to take time. We're not going to start subscription on the platform until we reach a certain level. So primarily our revenue is going to be advertising driven, right? As a company or as an entity, what we're doing is we're actually giving away tokens, right? So we have to use advertising in order to get that investment back. So initially, for probably the first 1 year or so, we won't be having any platform revenue. The revenue that we're making is primarily content revenue, which is the M Originals and MCs, and it is the NFT revenue using the Cineverse space that we're entering, and obviously other forms of content trading that we're looking at. But advertising also in the first year is probably just going to be enough for us to recover some of the investment that the organization is making in terms of using our own holding, because that's the company's holding of tokens that we're utilizing to give out to content creators. But obviously there has to be a way to get it back, right? And what we're basically doing is we'll start offering those views to the advertisers. The views that you are making are eventually being sold to an advertiser who's paying for those views. And using that money, then we are basically buying more tokens so that the amount of tokens that the company as a company holds also does not decrease drastically, right? Because these tokens reflect on our balance sheet at the end of the day. So we can't allow all of them to be used just on the platform, because at the end of the day, otherwise there won't be any tokens that the company's holding. So advertising will be used, but advertising will not be used as a profit center initially. It will be used primarily as a means of just converting, the tokens that we're giving away against the views, just to get them back, right? So the second question I think I've answered. The first question, Sumer, Sumer, I see you on the call, you're not on the speakers. Do you want to talk about this? By the way, we have one of our prominent team members, Sumer, on the call, but he is a listener.
Where is he at? I can add him up.
Sumer,
I think I found them.
Yeah,
because
all the policies as far as the copyrights and all, it's all being managed by him. So maybe he'd be the best person to actually answer that. But this is a problem that we have already identified, and we are putting a lot of thought on how to combat that. Yeah, I think there he is.
Yeah, because the marks we will be getting once we open a platform will be very huge, and it will be from everywhere, not only from YouTube. It will be from everywhere, and every kind of thing will come and get uploaded here. So to grab that, it would need a lot of development, I guess.
Exactly. So one of the things, again, I'll let Sumer answer in detail probably, but what I understand is that one of the things that we are doing deliberately is that we're keeping a minimum collection before the tokens are actually being disbursed to you as a content creator, right? So, and in any case, it doesn't make sense for us to just distribute $2 worth of token to your wallet when the gas fees is also $2, right? So we've kept a minimum benchmark, and while maintaining that benchmark until the time that you actually reach that benchmark, that your first disbursement to your actual wallet is happening through the platform, we will make sure that we have verified that the content that you uploaded actually belongs to you. So right now, manually, we have come up with this solution, but I understand what you're saying, and it's not going to be easy. It's a continuous ongoing battle, which the team right now is trying to figure out. Sumer, maybe you want to add?
I think I hear Vibin working in the background too.
I was trying to open something.
I don't know if Sumer's going to answer, but I do know in the version 2 of the content platform and application that they are looking into something that can, have the strike system in place to where people can say, hey, this is my content. And they're working on different ways that this can be done automatically. Of course, it's cross-platform, but having that gap, like Umair said, between dispersing tokens and giving content creators a chance to say, hey, this is mine, and then it's up to the person that, is saying that to prove that. So if you're the actual content creator, you can be like, okay, here's when I loaded it on this platform, here's this, and then we can make changes accordingly.
Sumer might be on on his computer too, which might not be allowing him to speak, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I see that he's turned on his mic, but we can't hear him, so probably it's a tech gap. That's why I keep saying Web 2.0 is done now. We need to all move to Web 2.0.
Yeah, agree.
Everything is
So,
centralized right now.
because this is also
We're
centralized,
more of a
right? And
decentralized
as much
Yeah.
as I love Twitter,
amazing
as much as I
for
love Twitter, but even Twitter is centralized, right?
realize
So,
what can be out
Oh yeah.
there when a platform like a decentralized
Everything is centralized right now. I can't wait for more of a decentralized platform. It's going to be amazing for people to realize what can be out there when a platform like a decentralized platform is out there, such as Web3. Rahul,
see,
can you?
I personally, sorry, I'm just adding something. So I personally feel that, in order to challenge the status quo in any industry and in order to create real disruption, decentralization is the way to go, right? Because when you distribute power, that's where always, the best thing comes out. Why is democracy an established solution to, so many of the world problems? Why do the best countries in the world, after years and years and centuries of research, exploring different forms of rulers, having fixed rulers, having these families rulers, eventually most of the biggest countries in the world, why have they moved into democracy, right? Because they do realize that decision making needs to be decentralized, and that needs to happen in industries as well, and it is going to happen eventually. It's all a matter of who adapts first.
Well, and the impact that governments have on centralized versus decentralized is going to be huge too, which is really nice. Rahul, sorry, do you want to speak or try? We can kind of hear it crackling there, but can you speak? I don't think it might not be working again for you, my friend.
You could also you can either DM BigONE or myself, and we could ask your question if you're having connection issues. I brought up XCXV, so you're up next. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I just wanted to ask, is the team looking to bring influencers from other platforms onto MContent platforms? So in a way, buying them out or getting them to post their content on MContent rather than their initial platform. Does the team necessarily have the sufficient funds to continuously buy influencers out and onto our platform? And is that what they intend to do?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, we are working with one extremely huge influencer, who is also going to be our brand ambassador for the platform launch. I can't reveal more details at this stage, but you'll see towards the end of this month. And that influencer himself or herself has got thousands of watch hours. And one of the deal breakers in that entire arrangement is the fact that they're going to upload their, a good collection from their overall watch hours onto our platform. Having said that, obviously one influencer or two influencers, that's just a short-term solution. As a short-term solution, we're also looking at populating the platform using existing distribution firms out there, because there are distribution companies globally that have the distribution rights to a lot of content out there, which you can obviously subscribe to as a platform yourself. If you're a platform who does not have enough content populated on your platform and you are trying to position yourself as a platform which already has a lot of content, so there are solutions out there available where you can just syndicate periodically. You can source some content from them for a period of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and all of that we're speaking to some multiple big influencers, YouTubers, obviously people that we know we have connections with are also helping us. We will make sure that there is a minimum level of population in terms of how much content is available when the platform goes live, at least in its first 3-4 weeks and in the first 3 months. But eventually the idea is to decentralize all of this, right? The idea is to have our own top influencers come up on this platform. The idea is for someone like the Gaining Enigma to be the top crypto influencer within our platform. The idea is for Alex to probably be the top influencer within the MContent platform. It doesn't have to be the same guy. It doesn't have to be the same person who is also in a leadership position in a certain, opinion space. So if there are top 10 crypto influencers on YouTube, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same on our platform, So our ecosystem is all about giving opportunity to new people. So we will create our own influencers, and you will see that, some of these influencers are gonna have their careers built through our
Anyone else that
platform.
wants to ask a question or anything like that? I know these guys
All
probably
right,
have
thank
a
you
lot
so
to
much.
do.
That answers my question.
I'm not 100%, but just figured we'd ask again. I try you
Is
again.
there anyone else that wants to ask a question or anything like that? I know these guys probably have a lot to do and might have to leave here soon. I'm not 100%, but just figured we'd ask again. I'd try you again, Rahul, but I'm just worried that your mic is going to do the same thing again.
We'll give him one more chance. He's been adamant.
Yeah.
We also have Don coming up to ask. So we got a couple more people coming up now. As soon as you guys are connected, you're more than welcome to ask your questions.
I met John last week, or on Monday in our chat, and he's an avid fan of you guys.
Outside.
Great.
Come on.
John, you're up. You can go ahead and speak. Just unmute your mic. Can you hear us, John? Just unmute your mic. Still showing that it's muted right now.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Gonna add up a Safe Moon Bear. You could go ahead and ask your question. Oh, John, there you are.
Go ahead, John.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I was late. My phone was down, so I'm just coming in actually. So I was trying to find out when you said that like we're going to be earning through the app, that is the platform that is going to be launched very soon. So now I actually don't know. Like you were saying that you are going to find out how, like if before someone uploads a content, you are going to find out if the person is actually the owner of the content. So how are we going to do that? Like for instance, what if you make a work and you don't actually you don't put it more efficient to be used? Like how do you want us to fix something to make you know that okay, this belongs to this person, so that there will not be confusion when we are trying to upload our content?
See, the first thing is that it is not our responsibility to make sure that the content that is being uploaded by someone belongs to them. The first thing we need to set very clear: it is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to make sure that the guy who's trying to do that, because what he's trying to do is unfair to the actual owner of the content, our responsibility is to make sure that this person does not get monetized for someone else's content. Right? What we're doing is to ensure that if you are uploading content that does not belong to you, we will make sure that you are not monetized. Even if your wallet starts showing that there is a certain amount of token that has till now been earned, we will make sure that the actual disbursement, will not happen until we have verified the fact that the content that you've earned on actually belong to you. To start with, this is the process we're creating, but as Ryan said, going forward, once we become bigger, larger, we are trying to set up an entire infrastructure whereby we can sort every piracy issue. No, piracy is probably not the right term, but we are working on resolving that gap as well. But to start with, just so you understand, our priority is to make sure that if the content doesn't belong to you, you do not get monetized. That's our key priority, and that's what we're going to deliver from day one. The rest, obviously, we can't stop anyone if he is uploading someone else's content, and until there is a copyright strike, which will eventually start happening in the future. We just need to come up with a temporary solution to start with, and eventually we need to have our own copyright strike system within the platform, which will be a more scalable solution. But all of that is going to take time. But we are not going to delay our launch just because of all of this, as long as we're ensuring that we are not disbursing tokens to you for uploading someone else's content, that we will make sure that we do it. We can launch the platform. So we're going to go ahead and launch. While we understand that there is a concern out there, but we'll still launch.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I was asking because we've been trying to like make the platform go forward. So I personally have been working on some stuff. You understand? That was why I was asking like, how do you know? So now that you have explained it to me, I'm happy. I'm happy.
We appreciate you coming up. Safe Moon Bear, you were up next, so you could go ahead and speak. Just unmute your mic.
Oh, your mic cut out.
Hi guys. I was just curious, how long you guys been on Safe Moon Swap?
Oh, your mic cut out.
Yeah, I just happened to see you guys on the Safe Moon Swap on the Safe Moon wallet. I was curious, how long you guys been in there?
I think we were there right at launch.
Yeah, when you guys launched, actually, you yourself approached us. I think your founder, your COO at that time, who later on left. I don't remember his name, but he actually got a recommendation to list MContent through Bitmart, I think, and they reached out to us, and we were like, sure. So it was right at the launch.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna sit in and listen and hear about you guys. I didn't know. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
All good. Appreciate you coming up. Usman, I'm gonna try to get you up next, so you can go ahead, followed by T, Crypto T. You can go ahead, Usman.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
So actually, this is Sumer. I'm calling from my friend's phone because my battery died. Umair was referring to my name, right? So we're talking about the privacy policy or in terms of copyrights reporting. So we have that mechanism already inbuilt. If people start uploading anyone else's video, we have a reporting mechanism there. Yes, it is manual right now, but if people are able to prove that the ownership of the content originally, lies with them, if they're able to prove that, we will definitely, ban them. We will report them, and definitely they will not be monetized, as Umair said. So just to answer that question that Umair asked me to do. Sorry, my phone battery died. Is there any other question about that copyright thing? Guys, please feel free to reach out to us. But definitely that thing has been very well thought out. We have around 10 people to oversee this process, and definitely we have very strict laws for in order to restrict copyright and fake profiles and all that. Obviously, in the very start, because the scale will be lower, it will be much easily manageable. But as we scale up, we will definitely be incorporating the systems whereby automated copyrights will be available, but the ownership of the copyright has to be proven to us. So that is the overall process through which we will be ensuring that anyone else's content is not used for monetization.
Man, we appreciate the commitment and getting on for us, because we're definitely trying to get you connected there. So appreciate you. We love Saeed up here because he was the one who asked that question. So hopefully that did answer his question. Appreciate you taking the time to answer that. T, you're still up here. You could go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, maybe that's me. TK?
T,
yeah. It just shows T, but yeah, Crypto T. Sorry.
Crypto T. So yeah, this is Tanya. Thank you. I'm really grateful for all your hard work. I bet you're burning the candle, but obviously well worth it. And I think it's an understatement to say that this community is grateful. My question is, I think one and I've been holding MContent for about 5 months now. My question is, I think I'm feeling just a little wonder at with the ETH bridge is what mechanisms are in place to help support both the Binance and the ETH bridge on that launch date in helping to equalize the price. I guess my fear that comes up is if there's a big difference, that there is going to be a lot of confusion.
Okay. See, as long as the fundamentals that you need to understand is, by the way, thank you for the really nice comments. The fundamentals you need to understand are that when you use a certain liquidity which is existing on a project, and you use that liquidity either through an IEO on a centralized exchange or through a bridge, you go to another blockchain like what we're doing. There's only a limited supply that is being offered for a launch, right? And when I use the word launch, that means that it's either an exchange, an IEO on an exchange, or it's a launchpad. In both cases, these launchpads or the exchange has its own core audience, right, which is following every new project that is coming up. So similarly, Pink Sale, which we're using, is a very, very popular launchpad, as you know, more so on the ETH bridge, on the ETH side, because lots of ERC20 early investors, they look at Pink Sale for opportunities, which basically means that now this very limited supply is going to be offered over there, and the price is going to be the same or slightly higher than the price on Binance Smart Chain, right? So we're going to ensure that the price is either the same or slightly higher, and you can see the growth trajectory, over the past few days. We've been growing at an average pace of at least, I think, 10% per day. And if you do the maths, you'll see that in the next couple of days, we'll be at the same price as the price that we launched it on ETH. So now this limited supply is going to be launched on ETH using the launchpad, which means that there's only a few people who get into the whitelist. There's only a few people who get into the actual pre-sale, which obviously means that all the others are going to try to buy right after the pre-sale is done, right? And there's buying pressure. There's always buying pressure, especially when the supply being offered is so limited, as is in our case. And that buying pressure is obviously going to take the price higher. Also because the liquidity amount within the pool on ETH is going to be much lower than what it is on Binance. On Binance, we already are sitting at a $3 million LP. On ETH, after the launch, this is probably going to be $500,000 or something, which is very small, which means that if the big buyers come in, and people obviously know that we already have a lot of interest from huge buyers, so once these people do not get an opportunity to buy into the pre-sale, they're going to buy right after the pre-sale, which means that the price on Ethereum is going to go higher. Eventually, there is an element of arbitrage that happens on any such situation where the price on one exchange is different from the other, or the price on one chain is different from the other. So as soon as the bridge goes live now, people on the Binance Smart Chain side are going to do one of the two. Either they're going to move their existing token using the bridge, and they're going to sell, which is less likely in the case of a project like ours, because most of our holders on the Binance Smart Chain are now loyal holders who understand that this is not a project that is going to take a U-turn after 200 million market cap. They're in here for the long term. They understand that we have the 5-10 billion market cap potential, which is clear and evident to everyone, especially with the partnership announcement that we'll also be doing before that. So these people are going to hold. So the arbitrage is going to happen in the other sense, which basically means that if I feel that the price on Ethereum is much higher than Binance, and I'm a trader, I'm going to buy on Binance and I'm going to sell on Ethereum. I'm going to use the bridge. I'm going to send my tokens on the other side, which basically means that the price on Binance is going to increase, and eventually the price on Ethereum is going to decrease. So it will meet somewhere in the middle, and that's how it works, an open market, an open economy. But ultimately, it's going to be beneficial for both holders. It's going to be good for the people who are buying on the Ethereum side as well, because there's going to be an upside after the launch. Definitely, whoever gets on the launch pad is going to get an upside. And for the Binance people, once they see that upside, there's going to be more buying on Binance Smart Chain as well, because they're going to try and do that arbitrage. So yeah, it's going to be fair. and it's going to be, I think, very beneficial for holders on both sides.
Wow. Okay, that was super helpful. Now I was spinning on it a little bit, but that just made it clear. So I'm not actually worried about that anymore. I'm sort of looking forward to it. So thanks to you all. Appreciate your hard work.
Thanks for the question.
Yo, appreciate you coming up. That was a great question. Because people always need to know that there is going to be that it's literally traders who set up bots just to do arbitrage opportunities, and a lot of people live off of that, make a living off of it. Honestly. So yeah, I wouldn't worry that the more volume the ETH bridge creates, it's going to eventually circulate over, and if the BNB's or Binance side is higher, it'll eventually balance out through arbitrage. So that was a great question. King, hold up, we just brought up
Jed,
you're up
I
first.
pulled up right now. Yep.
Hi guys, I say good morning or good evening. So I would like to thank you guys, the team, for the great project. So I like it a lot. So my quick question is, do you plan, guys, to come in the US to open an office? And if yes, how we plan to deal with this?
I think that's a very good question. If I understood you correctly, you're asking me back up an office in US as well, right? Was that your question, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, things. Sometimes it's so strange because our journey of success is so phenomenal that every night that we actually are about to hit the bed, which is not for too long. We only get to sleep like for a few hours, but every night we close our eyes just before we sleep. It actually feels like we are living a dream, right? Because things are moving at such a fast pace. There are things that I do not like disclosing to the community so early. But we've had interest from global funds, global institutions. We have some travel plans in the coming days. We are meeting some really significant people, in different financial centers of the world. And obviously, again, I'm not going to say which financial centers. But yes, just to answer your question, it's all evolving at such an unprecedented pace that it's hard to comprehend. Sometimes it's hard to believe. And it's really hard to make a statement because if I tell you that no, we don't have plans to be in the US physically until the next 3 months at least, or until the next 6 months at least. But I really don't know because the pace at which things are moving, you never know. We might be in the US. And yes, it was always part of our long-term plans. When is it going to happen? As I said, this is a dream that is looking like, real every day. And you never know when this is going to happen. So yeah, once we know, we'll definitely let you know.
What is your plan if yes, you're gonna, for this sake, because they're gonna, you need to register everything. What is your plan for
SEC,
vis-a-vis this sake?
the US.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said, what is your plan for this SEC?
SEC.
SEC,
yeah.
The US.
So obviously, if you register as a crypto entity in US, the first thing you need to do is that you need to prove through a recognized law firm that you are a utility and not a security. You're not trading your crypto asset as a security. You're actually doing it as a utility, right? That's the first step. And I think anyone who by now understands what MContent platform is, how it's going to function, I mean, even someone who's blind would agree that this is a utility. There's no question about this being a security. There's so much utility in there. So I don't think we should have any regulatory issues whenever we do try and open up our offices in the US.
Oh, thank you.
King Tut, I think that's her name. Go ahead and ask your question as well.
I came in late and I was gonna ask for him to reset the room. I didn't know about the AMA. I definitely would have been here on time.
Go ahead and ask anything though if you like.
No, I was gonna ask him to reset the room. I didn't get the beginning of it, so I'm a little late. I didn't know about this AMA.
We do have a recording of it that we're doing right now that will be on BigONE's YouTube, so you can go back and listen to it. It would be really hard to reset the whole AMA, but I don't know if Umar wants to say anything.
I would honestly love to, because I feel that every individual who becomes an audience for us is valuable, because every audience is valuable, and I would love to go through this entire thing again, but unfortunately it's very late, and the past 2-3 days have been very hectic, so it's late night here in Dubai, so it's going to be difficult for me. But yeah, in one summary, I would just like to tell you that we were talking about how what MContent is doing in terms of creating a utility-based asset is completely different from anything that is happening within the entire blockchain space or even the Web3 space. And yeah, someone was saying something?
I think they might have clicked their button by mistake.
Okay. So yeah, what we're doing is pretty amazing, and the way it's evolving, it's phenomenal. I think our productions are out there, people know. There are people who will now start testing our platform as well, and obviously all the extended team members, the core team members, they've already utilized this platform and they know how amazing it is. And I think in the next month or so, I can tell you by extreme confidence that everyone who is in this space will know about MContent within the next 1 month, because there are things that we're doing which are just completely breakthrough. The partners that we're working with, these are people, these are real world companies. We're talking about Fortune 500 companies, that have not partnered up with any crypto project before. So once all of these announcements go out, once people see what is actually being done, obviously after the launch of the Ethereum bridge, we will immediately move towards the launch of our platform. We have some huge events lined up in the last week of Feb, as I told you. So things are looking really bright. That's the only summary that I can give after this extremely extended conversation. Ryan, maybe you want to add something for our friend?
I think you covered it for the most part. The highlights would be the Ethereum bridge going live on the 14th with the pre-sale. You can complete the sweep widget now and get whitelisted. After that is the content app going live. After that is the huge NFT news. So that's the main thing coming up this month.
How do you get on the pre-sale, I mean?
There's a link for a sweep widget if you're not familiar with that. You'll give your contact info and your wallet address, and then you'll have a list of things like follow our Telegram, follow our Twitter, check our website, things like this. Each one of those gives you so many entries, and then I believe there's 250 winners, and it's all automated. 250 are chosen, and then those people are whitelisted.
I picked it up top for you.
Yeah. By the way, it really shows, Ryan, that you are.
Okay, so what's the link? What did you say the link was again?
After this, I'll share it. I'll make a post.
I picked it up top for it.
Okay, cool.
I guess the last one will be Safe Moon or Benson Jean.
Yep, that's me. All right. Well, I don't have much questions, but first and foremost, I would like to start by saying congratulations, guys. I really enjoy the project. I have been with you guys since the beginning. So I haven't paying much attention, so I just started promoting MContent on Twitter now. So just briefly.
Your mic might have broke up, I think.
Hey Benson, we lost you. See if you can reposition yourself to possibly get a better signal.
You're back again.
Nonetheless, we appreciate you coming up. We'll give you a couple more seconds to connect. We're going on 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think that was
1
a little bit longer than
billion.
intended to be on with. Oh, there it is.
There
you
you're
go,
back
Benson.
again.
You can go. You can go again, Benson. You got cut off right in the beginning of your after you showed appreciation.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize there. So I just wanna shout out to you guys for the work that you guys have been doing, and it's been great. I've been paying close attention to it, and I think this is a good project, and it will go very far. So I just wanna congratulate you guys and letting you guys know that I'm with you and we will be with you. The community is behind you. So we just want to keep doing what we're doing. Let's get those listings coming up, and I hope you can tell us more, elaborate a little more about the news that you have coming up. Approximately, do we have a time frame on those? So that would be great. Well, other than that, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I think he said February 23rd is the big content creator. Someone might be coming on board at that date, I believe, or a partner.
No, 24th there's a big event, and then 28th there's a big thing happening. So we're probably going to be making both those announcements around the 23rd. But the event is huge because that's like complete innovation within Web3 that we're doing, and we're doing it with one of the greatest partners that we could have had. It's actually unbelievable the scale of this partnership. So that we will be revealing by the 23rd. We can do it now as well, but we would like to just delay this because already there's a lot happening over the next couple of weeks, including the app launch, and then there's also the platform testing that is being done by some members of the community. So we want to give it all enough time, and then we come up with the big news right towards the end of it. With that having been said, to both our hosts, I would really like to thank you for inviting us today. And this link of the recording, if you can share also with one of our team members, like Red maybe, it will be great because then we can share it with the community members who missed the session. And it was really nice being here with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you guys coming out, and we appreciate what you guys are doing for your community, and not not for us. And that's what we try to do. Me and Scott, we both we have a great opportunity with BigONE where we can go out and find good projects and talk to nice projects. So we appreciate you guys taking some time to come by.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys so much. This was great.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll have to do some more in the near future, maybe YouTube or something together.
How about we do it together on our platform?
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm up
yeah,
for
that's
it.
a good idea. That's a very good idea. By the way, we'll also have live functionality on the platform, so people will get to know about some of the live content that we're acquiring, which is also pretty phenomenal. With that being said, I would like to tell my team member Ryan, please go sleep. You are extremely tired. It's clear in your voice. So please rest and don't go to the airport yourself to pick Frankie up. Send Sonair maybe. So yeah, good night.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Everybody have a good one.
And thank you so much for being in the space, everyone. And make sure to stay tuned for our next spaces, which will be this Friday, 12 p.m. EST, I believe, as well.